When we withdraw and avoid life, when we retract from our lives, like a snail back into his shell, certain states, anxious states, depressive states, start to manifest. They come up to show us that there's work to do. We withdraw from undesirable, reinforced instances that we want to avoid, feelings that we don't like, thoughts that we do not want to think. We learn to do these reflexively, subconsciously, and on autopilot. But that connection is rarely the answer to all of our problems. We need to be able to accept reality as it is, not to avoid or change it with defenses. Accept it exactly as it is, in the present moment, to heal our lives. We need to accept the notion that once you change your internal states, the only thing that you can control is what is inside you. Depression is what is outside of you and in the past. Anxiety is what is outside of you and in the future. Your thoughts about the future and the past have nothing to do with reality. Reality is only in the present moment. So showing up for yourself, really becoming conscious, and becoming conscious of who you are in the present moment, not who you should be. How you feel, not how you should feel. What you do on a daily basis, not what you should be doing. When you stop avoiding the truth of those things, you will be set free. So connection to the world is really the key. Connect what is inside to what is outside. When you have chaos inside, you will have chaos outside. If you are peaceful inside, you will connect to peaceful things on the outside. And in fact, you will experience a peaceful, joyful world. This is why some people live lives that are happy and others that are miserable. Choose your internal state carefully and then connect to the outside world. And that is today's message. Look how everything else in the world connects. We can call it entrainment. Have you seen the birds flying? They don't communicate. They don't watch each other, but they change direction in an absolute flow state. Without any signals, they do it collectively. It's the same with a school of fish. You need to notice these things and then notice yourself in these things. A mother and a baby on a breast can actually synchronize and align their heartbeats together, so their hearts actually beat as one. They have measured this in people who are in love, whose heartbeats also synchronize. But there are many more examples. Scientifically, if you have a certain number of pendulums swinging in different rhythms, somehow, scientifically, they all start swinging with the same rhythm. They are connected. The menstrual cycles of women in prisons also align, and the examples are endless. Friedrich Nietzsche said, "You live under the presumption that you think, but in the meantime, you are being thought." And this is the paradox of our lives. This is the heaven and the hell and the chaos and the order. We are all part of each other. We are part of a flow. We are part of a universe. There is a collective consciousness, and we need to wake up to what works and what doesn't work. Our defensiveness stands in our way. There's no doubt about that. Our fear creates our defensiveness. Avoidance disconnection, retreat, all come with fear. And fear is literally in the air. So what we need to do is lose our defenses and fear the attack of nothing. When you're in fight, flight, or freeze, you're like a lion stalking in the grass, ready to attack, ready to run. It doesn't work. We are not built to stay in those states for very long. Yet many of us try and stay in these states for year after year and wonder why we break down. We need to remember the way things work and then do that. What works is what we need. What doesn't work is what we've got to stop doing again and again and again. When I say fear is in the air, mice will smell pheromones in the air. They will sense other mice being killed. And they will have a fear signal that is literally in the air. And they will fall into fight, flight, freeze. So we really must learn that the environment that we sense with our 5 senses is really an extension of our bodies. You can wiggle your fingers or toes with a tiny little bit of intention. But remember that you can do this to your entire mind, body, emotional, and spiritual self. Connection is the key. Remember the entrainment of the birds and the fish, the aligning of heartbeats, of mothers to babies, people in love. And understand what Nietzsche said when he said, you live under the presumption that you think, but in the meantime, you are being thought. Life is a process. Avoid it, and you'll have 10,000 times more suffering than is required. So what we need to do is let our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that are inside us be the very change that we want to see in our world.